Thanks for joining me on the next real world mile per gallon test. This time we have the 2025 Subaru BRZ TS. Yep, that's right, we have the TS here. We're gonna test the mile per gallon on this. It's supposed to be 20 in the city, 27 on the highway, so we should average 22 miles per gallon. That's the number we're gonna be shooting for. But before we get started, let's take a quick look at this, and then we'll head to the gas station. So they say that this is blue pearl. It is a nice blue color, especially with the black rims they've got on here and these copper colored Brembo brake caliper covers. They just look really, really nice. Let's go pop back here to the trunk. It is not very big, about 5 or 6 cubic feet in here. So not very big, but the seats do fold down if you need to get some more room in there. Look at the interior. We've got black, ultra suede, Alcantara, whatever you'd like to call that in here, but everything is black. I like how they have this bottle holder in the door panel. The Miata does not have that. They do have a couple more right here in the center, which then takes away your armrest and you have to reach behind you to get them. So it's nice that they put this one in the door right over here. You can see this one does have back seats, but they are really not usable. We take the seat belt out of here, flip that seat forward, and you can see there really isn't much room for anyone to sit back here. Now you could squeeze that, slide that passenger seat all the way up and maybe fit somebody back there, but neither person is probably going to be very comfortable in here. All right, you also see that this has the 6-speed manual in here. The TS's only come with 6-speed manuals, and the other ones are optional, manual or automatic, whichever you would prefer. That is just a little bit about this BRZ TS. Now let's head to the gas station. Let's get this test started. I'll give you the parameters of the test and a little more information about this car on the drive. Okay, we're here at the gas station. We're gonna get this thing filled up. First, we're gonna check, are there any requirements? This says premium unleaded fuel only, so we will be putting premium in. In case you're wondering, in Illinois, we got 474 for 91, 384 for 89, and 314 for 87, actually. Go, we're gonna choose premium. Probably won't need much in this right now just because we haven't driven it hardly at all. Just barely over half a gallon. All right, let's get this packaged up. No, I do not know for sure that it has premium already in it. All I can do is put premium in it now because that's what it requires. Okay, let's get in and reset everything for the trip. There you go, STI. The TS actually means tuned by STI. So we should, this car, it is a lot of fun to drive so far, and I haven't driven it very long. Okay, so you can see up here, we got miles per gallon's already reset itself. The average is 15. We got 320 miles to go. Let's see if I hold this down, if this resets everything. Okay, so that's gonna reset that. We're gonna reset our trip right now, and there we go. All right, we're gonna be heading to our first town. On the way, I'm gonna give you the parameters of the test, kind of just how we do these tests every time. And then I'll give you an update when we get into town. A little bit later, I'm gonna give you some more information about this BRZ TS, so stick around for that. Don't jump too far ahead. So you're gonna wanna know a little bit more information in case you're thinking about, maybe buying one of these. There are 3 settings basically on the car itself. One, we drive in normal mode. Because we don't want to minimize or maximize the mileage out of this car. We want it to be just basically what you would get in and drive every day. Now, you do have to remember that I am the one driving this stick shift, so it might be a little bit different when you drive. And then the next thing is the climate inside the car is going to be set between 68 and 72 degrees. Today it is about 50 degrees outside. I have the cabin in here set at 68, and I'm almost wondering if that's going to be a little too warm. Hopefully it's not, but I'm going to leave it at 68 as long as I possibly can. Last thing is we're going to drive 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, because that is the average of what most people drive when they drive over the limit. So we're going to be looking at 60 on the highway, 35 to 50 in town, and about 75 out on the interstate. That should give us a good representation of the average normal driver. Now the test itself. We're going to drive 100 miles. We're going to drive 50 miles in one direction. We're going to turn around and drive 50 miles in the exact opposite direction. The reason we do that is to negate any weather conditions that we might have that day or the terrain that we are driving on. That way, every car that we do this test with has the same baseline. We're going to go through 2 towns. We're going to drive loops through those towns. That way we hit stop signs, stoplights, a little bit of traffic, some stop and go stuff, kind of normal, everyday driving, real world driving, basically. We're going to drive about 10 to 12 miles on the interstate. That should get us to our 50-mile marker. At that point, we'll turn around and we'll come back and do everything in the reverse order. Drive through those 2 towns again. We'll do loops through those 2 towns again and work our way back to the original gas station where we started the test. Once we get there, we will fill up and then we will pull out the calculator and we will do old school mile per gallon calculation and compare that to the EPA and to what the car itself is registering and see what the real world number actually is. We're getting ready to come into our first town, so I'm going to update you on where we're at, and we're going to take a loop through that town, and then I'll update you again afterwards. We have entered our first town, and so far you can see we've driven 4.7 miles and we are averaging 31.8 miles per gallon. That is awesome right now. Of course, that was just all highway driving, and now we're in town, and that's going to cause a little bit of an issue with your mile per gallon, because you're going to be accelerating, you're going to be stop and go traffic and stuff like that. So we're going to make a loop through this town, and then I'm going to update you as we head back out onto the highway. We made the loop through town. We're back out onto the highway now, and we are 8.2 miles and 29.1 miles per gallon. So we're still up above the highway average, which is perfectly fine. It's usually what happens first part of this trip. So now we're going to be heading to our next town, and on the way I'm going to give you guys some more information about this BRZ TS. So when I was learning more about this BRZ, I found out that Toyota and Subaru worked together to create the BRZ and the GR86. So the GR86 is basically the cousin of the BRZ, even though this is the TS, and that means it is tuned by STI. It's still the same 2.4 liter flat 4-cylinder motor, and it still has 228 horsepower. It's not anything, and there's no boost in horsepower there. It does have 184 pound-feet of torque, which is okay. It's not the greatest, but it is good for this little car. I mean, I'm not saying that this horsepower is horrible, because it's good for this car. This I would have no problem taking out on the track and having a lot of fun in. The suspension in this thing is dialed in, and it is tuned by STI. They just really didn't touch the engine much. So moving on from there, you do get a 6-speed manual in this. The TS only comes with a 6-speed manual. The other BRZs have an optional automatic if you would like to have that instead. 0 to 60 on this is rated at 5.5 seconds, but it's really not going to happen very often. You got to do a really aggressive clutch dump on this, and I'm not willing to do that in a car that is not mine, and I probably wouldn't be willing to do it in my own car because I wouldn't want to damage something. That's not something I'm going to attempt to get. If you watched the review on this, you saw that I did my best, but probably was not the greatest. by any means. I'm not a race car driver, so I just do my best. I do like driving a stick. I think it's fun, unless you are in an area with a lot of traffic and stuff, then it's kind of more of a pain in the ass than anything else. Fuel economy on this we talked about, which is what we're testing today, is 20 in the city, 27 on the highway, 22 overall. It sounds like an okay number, but I'm hoping to see us get around 25 or 26 miles per gallon, if not even higher than that. That would be my expectation. So your pricing in here, you're going to start out with your premium is the base model, and it's going to be $31,095, which is a really good price. And the limited's going to start at $33,745. TS that we are driving right now is going to start at $36,245. The one that we're driving right now with the options and the destination fee comes in at $37,365. Under $40,000 and you get a fun car to drive and maybe go hit the track once in a while. Yeah, I think it's worth it. All right, we're going to be coming into our next town shortly, and I'm going to give you an update on where we're at. We've entered our second town now. Give you an update where we're at. 29.7 miles, 33.1 miles per gallon average. So yeah, we're doing well above what we are supposed to average in this. So that's doing really well. Okay, so we are going to make a loop through this town, and after that loop, before we get up on the interstate, I will update you again on where we're at. Made our loop through town, and we're getting ready to get up onto the interstate. So far, 36.6 miles and 31.5 miles per gallon. We're gonna see how well we can do here. In third gear, semi coming around this one side, but we're gonna get out there in front of him. Here we go. Oh yeah. That was fun, but yeah, really a little hard to do while you're driving a stick shift and holding the camera at the same time. All right, now that we're up here and we're settled in at 75 miles per hour, we've got 37.8 miles and 31 miles per gallon. So we are still well above that 27 highway mile and 22 overall, almost 10 mile per gallon over that. That is just amazing. So we're going to be driving on here about 10 to 12 miles, it looks like, and that should be right about our 50 mile marker. We'll get off the interstate, we'll turn around and come back the other direction. So I'll update you when we get ready to make that turnaround. Getting ready to get off the interstate, make our turnaround. So far, 50.5 miles and 31.6 miles per gallon. So we held pretty strong right there. Here is our exit right here. All right. We generally can go up here, turn around, and head right back in the opposite direction. There's usually not a whole lot of traffic up here in this area. There we go. We're going to go right back down the other side. And as I said, this is always fun in a stick shift. Trying to maneuver the on-ramp along with steering and shifting gears. All right, we are in fourth gear right now. We're gonna come along here. We've got a truck. We gotta let go by before we go. And all right, here we go. And we are right back out here. 52.3 miles and 31.4 miles per gallon. So doing Great so far, way above what we're supposed to average. All right. We're going to drive here for, like I said, it's about 10 to 12 miles. We'll be getting back off the interstate. I'll update you when we get to that exit. Okay, we're coming up on our exit off the interstate and back into town. So far, we are 64.8 miles and 31.2 miles per gallon. So still holding strong. All right, we're gonna head back into town right here. After we make the loop through this town, then I will give you guys an update as we head back out onto the highway. All right, we made our loop through town. We are back out onto the highway. So far, we've got 73.4 miles and 30.9 miles per gallon. So yeah, we are well above that 22 mile per gallon average that we're supposed to get. So we're gonna be on our way to our next town, and I will give you an update once we get there. Okay, we have entered our last town, and so far we're at 94.4 miles and 32.1 miles per gallon. So we are 10 miles per gallon above what we were supposed to average, which was 22 miles per gallon. Now, we'll have to see how accurate the car actually is, but that is huge. We're going to make a loop through this town, and then I will update you again before we head back out onto the highway. All right, we made our loop through town, and we're back out on the highway, headed to the gas station. So we are at 98.2 miles and 32.1 miles per gallon. Yeah, so I think we're going to settle in 10 miles per gallon over what the EPA has estimated. All right, when we get back to the gas station, we get filled up. We will then run numbers and see how accurate this Subaru's computer is. We have made it back to the gas station. We got the same pump. So what we are looking at, here are our final results of the car. 102.1 miles and 32.2 miles per gallon. Okay, let's get it filled up and run the calculations and see how accurate that actually is. Let's get this filled up. So just like we talked about earlier, premium is required here. All right, here we go. 91. Oh, we're started. There we are, 3.13 gallons. Let's get in and run some calculations. Okay, so EPA says we're supposed to average 22 miles per gallon, and the car said after this trip that we went 32.2 miles per gallon. So now I think we need to run our calculations, and let's see how accurate it is. So we have 102.1 miles, and we're going to divide that by the 3.13. 3.13 actually gives us 32.61. So really, it is pretty much dead on accurate. 32.2, 32.6. So really close to accurate, actually. So you're getting a little bit better than what even the car says. That's pretty awesome. Way to go, Subaru. You know, this happens sometimes. Sometimes we're way over, sometimes we're a little under, but yeah, really good numbers. So the 2025 Subaru BRZ TS real world mile per gallon is 32.6. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, share this with everyone else so other people can actually see this video too. Next, click on one of the videos that's on the screen. One of them is the review of this Subaru BRZ TS. The other one, YouTube thinks you might enjoy. I think you're going to like them both. So you have a blessed day, and I hope to see you in that next video.